Welcome to Oregon's Police Academy, the Department of Public Safety Standards and Training. This video shows how police are trained to communicate, interact, and partner with the deaf community. I'm one of a few deaf instructors here on campus. You might wonder how this started. There were a number of unfortunate interactions between law enforcement and the deaf community, where deaf people faced barriers and lacked access to information that just kept occurring.
One day I was driving and I got pulled over for speeding. When the officer approached the car, I gestured that I don't hear and we need to write. He said no and talked to my daughter who's hearing.
The police asked me to interpret for my dad, but I was scared. I didn't want to say something wrong that could inadvertently get him in trouble.
Through research, stories shared in the report show the need for an improved partnership between law enforcement and the deaf, hard of hearing, and deafblind community.
As part of our redesign of our curriculum, we reached out to Oregon's deaf and hard of hearing community and asked for assistance.
This course has co-presenters, one from the community and one from law enforcement, teaching together about effective interaction and communication that officers can use in their future work, so they know what to do when they meet someone who's deaf, hard of hearing, deaf-blind, or deaf with mental health issues. We cover many scenarios, so they build a toolkit they can take with them to work in the community. That communication toolkit is brought here to the Scenario Village for boots on the ground, hands-on learning through role-play scenarios.
We wanted to ensure that newly hired police officers, as well as seasoned officers, knew how to properly interact and communicate with members of our deaf and hard of hearing community.
We provide education and exposure for the police, so they can learn and benefit from the community.
This campus offers over 5,000 role-play scenarios on its more than 100-acre property. Classes consist of about 50 to 60 officers who are being taught and cycle through on a monthly basis. These officers go on to work all over the state, spreading the seeds of this work and widely establishing this knowledge of how to work with deaf and hard of hearing community members.
Settle, please. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Down.
In this training scenario, police learn appropriate nonverbal communication to instruct a suspect to drop his weapon. Once they have made the scene safe, then they can figure out how to further communicate.
So there was a little bit of a disturbance.
Yeah.
Your wife? Yeah.
What's going on today?
She doesn't understand.
Does she need an interpreter?
Yes, she needs an interpreter.
Oh, okay. I'll get one for her.
This scenario focuses on assessing a range of communication options and picking the one that is most effective.
Our school motto is be safe, be respectful, be responsible. That theme ties in perfectly with this collaboration with law enforcement. We want our students to develop relationships with and have trust in police officers, so future interactions with them will be better.
The goal of law enforcement here in Oregon is to partner with the deaf and hard of hearing community to improve communication access.
My goal is that DPSST improve communication access to accommodate the deaf community.
I actually had a very good experience with the police thanks to this visor card. When I got pulled over and the officer began speaking to me, I showed the card indicating that I'm deaf. The officer knew how to best communicate, and things went so smoothly. It's all thanks to this card.
The success of this program is paramount. We've enabled law enforcement officers to communicate better with members of our state who are deaf and hard of hearing. Equally important, we've built trust between the members who are deaf and hard of hearing in our state and our local law enforcement providers. We look at this as a partnership between both law enforcement and our deaf and hard of hearing residents. We can't do it alone. We have to do it together, and we're very proud of the work that we've done in our state.